Okay, this is 202 Ridgeway. You're it's like the second one. This is the end unit. You're the second one in going from the right. There's just a little row of them here. You've got some of the older style of townhomes down that way. Across the street. Down the street. There's just on the other side of that white pickup truck, there's a right that goes back into a whole nother set of townhomes just like this one. So on this home, this is your wall on this side. And it looks like, I hate to step on somebody else's property over here because this is not yours, but this wall is yours. And we've got some rotten wood here. Looks like a little bit right there, which the VA would require if it was a VA loan or FHA loan. It would be required for the seller to fix and replace those. On a conventional, it's kind of questionable who has to make the repair, but on USDA, FHA, and VA loans, the seller would have to do that. There's a little board that goes right across right here. It's very weathered. If it's not rotten, I'd be surprised. And then right here on the soffit, right there, is a little bit of rotten wood. All very normal on these units. We see that all the time. We see a lot of this bottom being rotten. So a lot of people have done what you can see here, this crossboard that goes across here. It's much cheaper, quicker, and easier to replace that than these big sheets of paneling here. So a lot of people have put this up down here, so when rain hits the ground and bounces back and wets that, over time it'll definitely rot, but it's way easier and cheaper to replace that. This wall is the next person's wall, even though it's here on your side, it's their wall. And I'm looking up here and I don't see any other major problems up there. Oh, underneath that little strip of trim right underneath the windows is definitely rotten there. So another piece. And I know on the back porch I saw some that will need to be replaced. The main thing I've seen in this unit so far is that it's just dated. It needs to be painted, of course. But then we'll get into, and I'm sure you've seen it in the pictures, but the wallpaper is just way, way old. So you have a nice little entryway here. All these units are typically the same, and there's hundreds of these units in various subdivisions. But we have our entryway, the staircase up to the 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. And then down here we have a laundry room and half bath, kitchen, living and dining, air conditioner. We'll go through all this. Immediately to our left, though, as we come in, is the garage. It does have an automatic opener. I always look to make sure there's no water intrusion, and I don't see any problems or issues. It's always dark in the corners, but I don't see any signs of water having come in. Your water heater is out here, so is your breaker panel. You've got one step up into the home. I'm trying not to spin around too much. I watched one of my videos recently and realized I spin around way too much, making people motion sick. So you do have a half bath in here, a sink and a toilet. Your washer dryer is in here, and then this insanely old and hideous wallpaper that just nobody else. That's why this one is still on the market, is nobody wants to do this kind of work anymore where they take this down and paint. You can see an old water stain right here. There's a bathroom right above this, and it was very common for any leaks up there to kind of either show up here, or there's a spot in the kitchen that they'll show up too. But there was almost always over the years a water leak somewhere, and it just had to get replaced. I don't know. Yeah, there should be an air filter right here in this little slot. There's one sitting here. I don't know if they were trying to put it in the door, but that's not the place to put it. There's a slot right there for it, so that's where it should be. This isn't a brand new AC, but it's also not original by any means. It doesn't have a, there was no date on here as to when the manufacturer date is. Some of these don't put them on there on purpose. But it's, again, not brand new, but not super, super old, but definitely something we would probably ask the seller to provide you a 1-year home warranty. That way, anything like that breaks, you would at least have some help and some coverage. So we have what's intended to be your dining area here with a little chandelier light over where your table would be, and then the rest of this is your living area. And then the excessively wallpapered, and all the units back when these were put in, I guarantee you this is from when it was in, right after it was built. Somebody put this in because that was the thing. But you do have, it's a working fridge. It's cold in there, but it is older. Very simple unit. I think they've been doing some work to the stove. Their power is on, and they have to give us a working one. It's clean, at least. I did a good job of that. You can see in some places where the paint, just over the years, the paint's starting to wear off a little bit on these doors. So that's starting to come off there a little bit. So it's a lot of wear and tear. But this unit, it's probably had this kind of wear and tear over 15 to 20 years. So it's not like this was just abusive of one person. It's a lot. This is a little odd in that this tile here, normally this is turned long ways, and you have 6 or 8 tiles that go across lengthwise. It's weird that they brought it out in here because it kind of cuts into your living space. Let's see. Take a step out here. Usually I end on the backyard, but we're close enough here just to knock it out. Again, this unit not brand new, but not as old as I've seen here lately. The deck itself, it's super dirty with leaves, but if this was cleaned off, and then they make a special deck paint that's super, super thick that will water seal the wood, and it'll make this last many, many more years. Right here, and there's a couple of spots of it there, and then another spot right there is rotten, and so that needs to be replaced. I've already reached out to the listing agent to see if the seller knows that it's there, because a lot of times the seller isn't even in state. They bought it and have just had it as a rental for many years in a lot of cases. So I just like, hey, would the seller be willing to replace this? So the backyard, I don't know if you can tell from the video. Let me see if I can do a little, like, you can kind of see here. So this is flat and level here, and then it goes uphill, and then it's uphill this way a little bit. So this is the low spot in the yard, and you can tell this is where all the water runs off and comes down and then goes downhill toward your neighbors. But because of these huge giant trees, which provide some nice shade for you, keeps it probably a little bit cooler in the winter, but the downside to it is it doesn't allow for grass to grow. So you just have all this Alabama hard clay right here. But you could absolutely make a little fire pit back here in the back somewhere, and make the space a little bit more usable. They just absolutely need to clean it, and these tree branches need to be cut back. So lots of little things, but nothing too major. These are things we hope the seller would be willing to address. So inside you've got a lot of updating to do, getting rid of the wallpaper. Some of these light fixtures, like that's white and gold. That's gold. All gold pulls on the door handles in here. Things like that you don't have to change out, but if you tried to keep it updated, definitely would need to be updated. And you can't tell that the wall's a little bit dirty here. Carpet's got some age to it. See if I can make it to the top of the stairs without hassling. You do have a nice little landing up here. You have a guest bedroom up front and a guest bath. We'll start there and then end back here in the master bedroom. So it's a 2-bedroom. This looks out over the front. And it's a very nice sized room, especially for a guest bedroom. This is a large room. Still the same older white and gold ceiling fan and light fixture. Bathroom, once again, hopefully you're good at taking down wallpaper. And then this is the master bedroom, and it is huge. It is quite a bit of space. King size bed would just kind of cover up this area here, and then it is these rooms have been known just to be super, super large. Some of these units used to have like a door here with a walkout deck. So that's something you could do if you wanted, but it would be a lot of work, and most people regret having those. So this is nice that you don't have the deck to have to replace and pay to have it refinished ever so often. So master bathroom, we've got double sink vanity, very large mirror with large light fixture. To the left, we've got our tub, and then a little linen cabinet up there. Couldn't think of the word cabinet. And then we've got our standard fiberglass shower tub in apparently I'm having a stroke. Insert, there's the word. I should edit this and not leave this in, but just to let you know what you're working with. There is attic access here if you needed it, and then a very, very nice large size closet, walk-in closet. And that's it. So that's the reason this unit has been here as long as it has, is people just do not want to do the work of pulling down the wallpaper. So if that's something you're good at and decent at, may have a little bit of time in between some of your classes and stuff, that would be it'd be a great way to pick up a unit for a little less than what some of these are going for. So anyway, if you have any questions on any of this, let me know.